So there we have it at last. The trailer for Thrones of Decay, the upcoming DLC for Total Warhammer 3, has finally been released. No more Thrones of Delay, although they haven't actually confirmed the release date for the DLC yet. Nothing in the press announcement or the Steam store page or anything actually in the trailer to confirm a release date, but they haven't said that it's not coming in April still. So I would imagine probably end of the month, but they're probably going to be releasing their own content, more blogs over the coming days and weeks. So I would imagine one of those in the not too distant future will hopefully confirm the release date. But yeah, today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and impressions on the trailer, quick reaction to that. Going to be going through and letting you guys know about what my schedule and content coverage plans are going to be for this DLC. Creative Assembly have given me early access to the DLC, so we'll be able to start releasing content later on this month. I'll talk about that in a little bit. And also we've got a poll for you guys to vote and help me decide which factions I'm going to start my coverage with. I'm going to cover 2 of the new Legendary Lords to start with, and then whichever one Lord has been left out. Once we finish one of those first 2 series, that other Legendary Lord will then come in and we'll start a new series with them. So we will cover all 3 of the new Legendary Lords, which, before we get any further, they are Tamilcan the Maggot Lord for Nurgle, Elspeth von Draken for the Empire, and Malachi Mackerson for the Dwarves. So were those all of you guys' kind of speculation choices? Did you get it right? Was it on your bingo card? Let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know your thoughts on the trailer so far, who you're looking forward to. You know, are you looking forward to the DLC? Are you still pretty wary, especially coming out of Shadows of Change and everything there? But yeah, we'll go through schedule and plans, and we'll talk about, the poll voting options. But if you can't wait for me to get to that point of the video, link in the description and pinned to the top of the comment section will be a link over to the community tab where you can get voting. I should say this is going to be a super rambly video. I will try if I can to put in timestamps to the various bits that we're covering, but yeah, kind of lots of information. Want to try and condense in one big video today. They obviously released a blog on the pricing structure for this DLC last week. And I know one or two of you have been asking me about that on stream. I was waiting until the trailer came out so I could kind of just condense all that information, all my thoughts and impressions on it in one big video, so it's all in one place. So yeah, we'll get to that towards the end of the video. We'll talk through the press release that they've announced in the Steam store info page. That gives us a bit more insight into some of the content that's coming as part of this DLC. So we'll just go through all of that today. But yeah, let's start off with trailer reaction. I thought it looked pretty cool. To be honest, I'm just happy to see some fresh content for Warhammer 3 because, yeah, it needs it. It also needs, you know, some solid reworks, and it'll be interesting to see what is coming in the free LC content and the patch alongside this. I know that often a lot of people are more interested in what's coming in the patch and the free LC often than the DLC, and I think that's going to be a crux of whether this DLC and this kind of update is a success or not, is if there is some solid reworks and rebalancing and changes and what have you included for free alongside all this new content as well. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm just not that much of a Nurgly boy, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure Tamilcan's awesome, but Empire and Dwarves, to be honest, have got me more excited for this DLC than Nurgle right now. And I don't know, that seems to be the general consensus with broadly my community, from what I've seen on like Discord chats, YouTube comment sections, and Twitch stream chats. You know, let me know your preferences and who you're most looking forward to out of those 3, of Tamilcan, Elspeth, and Malachi, down in the comment section. But that's actually kind of affected and tweaked my plans for content, because initially I was going to do Nurgle and then have a poll to decide between Empire and Dwarves. However, if you click that link in the description or pin to the top of the comment section, if you've already gone to it, you will see that there are actually 3 options, because I can't quite decide what I want to do with this DLC yet for 2 series covered with early access. So that poll will show either Nurgle and Empire, Nurgle and Dwarves, or Empire and Dwarves. So it would mean that there is the potential that we would not have any Nurgle series to start with this DLC. As I've said though, Whichever series then ends first, the other Lord would then be brought in to replace the series that ended as a new series. So if it was Empire and Dwarf to start with, and we started with Elspeth and Malachi, once one of them ended, then Tamokan would come in as a follow-up campaign. I am currently thinking that whichever campaigns I do, they will all be on Immortal Empires, unless there are some really unique narrative elements added into Realms of Chaos. But I think I'm just going to do Immortal Empires for this one. I mean, I mistakenly thought that there would be unique kind of more narrative focus for Realm of Chaos with Shadows of Change, which is why I did my Changeling campaign on Realm of Chaos, not Immortal Empires. But as it turns out, those three lords all got a narrative campaign objective in Immortal Empires. So I'm assuming that they're going to do the same thing with Thrones of Decay. Once I've got early access, I will dive on in and check that out and see. But I would imagine these campaigns are going to be Immortal Empires. So speaking of early access, yeah, Crave Assembly have kindly given me early access. I will be able to start releasing content on the DLC on the 23rd of April. So Tuesday, the 23rd of April, I will release the start of one series as a straight to video, straight to recording series here on YouTube. And the other series I will stream and record at the same time, edit and upload that to YouTube. The aim, ideally, would be to have both part ones of those new series on the 23rd, but it might be that there's one up on the 23rd and one up on the 24th, probably the stream series on the 24th. I don't know yet which one that's going to be, because obviously the poll is now live. Usually within the first 24 to 48 hours, it becomes pretty clear what you guys' preference is for content. So I'm going to let this poll run until the 13th, 14th, and I will then follow up with another community tab, either a community tab post either on the 14th on Sunday or on Monday the 15th at the latest, to kind of confirm the two campaigns that we'll be starting with, the two legendary lords that we'll be playing with to start from the 23rd. As I said, one will just be a regular straight up YouTube recording, and the other will be one that I stream on Twitch, so you can tune to that campaign live. But I will be recording at the same time, but without a face cam, without any Twitch alerts, and I'll edit out any pauses and breaks and, you know, trips to the toilet or whatever. So it should seem like a fairly straightforward video. If you've watched any of my content over the past couple of years, that's pretty much the same format that I've had for the past few years now. So yeah, it seems to have gone down pretty well. Kind of just branching out and doing content that way, bit of live, bit of straight recording, like that. So yeah, get voting if you haven't done already. Let me know who your first campaign is going to be in this DLC if you're planning on picking it up. And yeah, I should say one final thing to talk about in my notes here, my rambly notes that I've thrown down here schedule wise. There is kind of a caveat, I should say, to all of this. All my plans could completely go out the window pretty much at any point now, because in fact, actually, we are a month to the day away from when our second child, our second son, is due to be born. He is due on the 9th of May. But I think there's actually probably quite a high chance that he's gonna be born early. My wife is technically a high-risk pregnancy, but she's being regularly checked and monitored and everything else, so all good there. Baby's perfectly fine, you know, last couple of scans and what have you. But it is potentially likely that she might be induced slightly earlier than the 9th, and it's very unlikely that they would let her go past her due date. So the reason why I mentioned that is the moment the moment I have to rush Layla Lionheart to the hospital because she's going into labor, I will begin 2 weeks of paternity leave where I will not be working at all. I might be on my phone on Discord a little bit, Twitter, what have you, but I will not be streaming or recording, editing or uploading any new bits of content. In an ideal world, I will have enough content, even though my week and my schedule is pretty jam-packed at the moment. But in an ideal world, I will have enough content set aside that during those first 2 weeks of my paternity leave, I will have 3 videos a week go out. So probably the plan will be a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday upload for the first 2 weeks once our son is born. After that, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did when our first son was born, which is that I'm going to return to work, but for 2 half weeks, where basically I'm just gonna kind of halve my hours that I work and just be super flexible. You know, just drop in, do a recording, go spend some time with the family, come back a bit later on in the day, do some more recording, maybe do a short stream, quick edit, and then back to family time. I feel like that's going to be even more important this time round because we've already got a 2.5-year-old who I love him to bits, but boy, is he the biggest bundle of energy ever. If I could harness that power, wow, it would be incredible. But yeah, so obviously I want to support my wife as much as possible. I want to spend those, you know, all important early days and moments with my family. So yeah, big old asterisk next to all of this. This is the content plan of releasing those series on the 23rd, but, you know, could be tomorrow. I quickly post a hurried message on the community tab saying, hey guys, I'll be back in like 2 weeks, which actually, I mean, would just about get me back for the embargo. But yeah, so everything's a little bit up in the air. So this is just, the plan is this right now, start releasing those series on the 23rd when the embargo drops for me, but subject to change. And certainly, if he hasn't arrived before then, from the 9th of May, I will be taking 2 weeks off with no new content recorded. So hopefully I will have enough stuff either pre-recorded or streamed and recorded that I'll be able to get you those 6 videos out across those first 2 weeks. But that was my plan very much when our first son was born, and I didn't have any time to do any pre-recording or additional content stockpiling or anything like that, or editing, because we went in for an early scan like 2 weeks before he was due, and they told us we were staying in because we were having him the next day. So that may happen this time. So everything's all a bit up in the air with that, but yeah, just wanted to let you guys know now what the plan is, but also plan may go out the window very, very rapidly, but I will keep you guys updated as to what's going on with that as and when I know about that, because I don't right now. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be a rambly video. Thanks for sticking with that bit. I think I've covered all the info in the schedule there, but yeah, poll, go vote on it. Nurgle and Empire, so Temukan and Elspeth, or Temukan and Malachi, or Elspeth and Malachi. So if you just want Empire and Dwarves to start with, do that. I will say I probably, if Empire and Dwarves did win the poll, I probably would still do a one-off stream and recording of Temukan just to check out like his first 10 turns, check out some of his mechanics and things like that. Kind of like how I did like a first look at Mother or Stankia when Shadows of Change first came out, and then obviously did my Changeling and J-Dragon campaigns, and then once they'd ended, I then had space in my schedule to then do the Mother or Stankia campaign, which is currently running right now. But that should probably end in the next few weeks. So yeah, that's the plan for schedule. 23rd is when I can cover the DLC. So yeah, get voting. We'll know the results hopefully fairly soon, and let me know who you're planning on checking out as well, who you're most keen to see in action as well. Let's go through some of the content now that we know about from the press release and the Steam store page info. So, Thrones of Decay introduces 3 new legendary lords for Nurgle, Empire, and Dwarves, usable in both Realms of Chaos and Immortal Empires campaigns. Embrace conflict, ingenuity, and decay with a new suite of legendary lords, heroes, units, and mechanics to enhance your campaign roster on and off the battlefield. So yeah, Temukan, the Maggot Lord for Nurgle, Elspeth von Draken for the Empire, Malachi Mackerson for the Dwarves. They bring unique campaign mechanics to their respective races with a brand new objective in the Realm of Chaos, independent from the Urson storyline. So that's kind of a little, as I said, I think I'm going to do these campaigns all in Immortal Empires, unless this unique objective isn't present in Immortal Empires, and then I might have to think things through, rethink them through. I mean, let me know your thoughts on this. I do prefer a more narrative focus, and to be honest, what I'm hoping is that they just give you the same objective in Immortal Empires, because I think one of the many issues with Immortal Empires, but one of the key things is that the victory objectives for most factions at the moment need a good sort of second pass over them, because quite a lot of them are pretty generic and dull. So I was actually quite happy to discover that with Shadows of Change, they actually made the kind of same victory objectives present across both Realm of Chaos and Immortal Empire. So I hope they're doing the same thing, because Immortal Empire's, I think could benefit from some more narrative focus options where possible. As long as it's always options and you're not completely railroaded to only specifically go after certain factions, which you haven't been so far, then I think that's good. So yeah, once I get early access, I will certainly be checking that out and seeing and trying to find out what their objectives are like across the two campaigns. If they're the same, great, we'll do Immortal Empires because it's the bigger map. And that'll be pretty darn interesting. This is plus new units, legendary heroes, help them achieve their total victory and secure the Nemesis crown. So I believe that's part of the free content coming in with this DLC and the patch alongside it. It will be like patch 5.0, I think. But yeah, the speculation is the Nemesis crown is something like the Sword of Cain. So I guess we'll have to wait and see and find out more info about that. But yeah, 3 new legendary lords during the battle. But we've already gone through those. Was it? Yeah, Temokan, the Maggot Lord. Elspeth is embrace the strength of magic and gunpowder in Norn's Imperial Gunnery School. So hopefully some cool gun units there. Seek a glorious death and reap rewards and test your latest innovations as Malachi. And improve your odds with 3 new legendary heroes. So one would assume it's 1 new legendary hero for each faction. Nurgle, Empire, and Dwarves. 15 units. So yeah, 5 for each. 3 lords, 3 heroes, and a further 9 regiments of renown, 3 for each. For Temokan, the info that we have for him, a bit of lore, is the Maggot Lord and Champion of Nurgle is one of the greatest Chaos Warlords to ever afflict the known world. A mighty leader to some, and a bloated corpse worm to others. Those that stand against Temokan quickly fall under the banner of this bringer of desolation. As a hard-hitting tank with the strength of an ogre and the vigor of Nurgle's greatest combatants, Temokan rides into battle atop his unique toad dragon, Bubolos, to unleash rot on any that dare oppose the warlord. Temokan's crusade across the land is not merely one of destruction or decay, for he amasses a horde of heroic characters as he goes, absorbing the many strengths of those that could not defeat him. These heroic characters, chieftains, are added to his ever-growing empire once Temokan has displayed his true dominating power, granting the Maggot Lord a suite of champions and warriors for use in his grand crusade. With enough devoted chieftains under his wing, Temokan can pursue ultimate victory. So that's his narrative focus. Gather all the chieftains to become the biggest, baddest Maggot Lord possible. The Empire, Elspeth von Draken. Elspeth, the Dark Lady of Norn, is a respected advisor of the Elect Counts, or to the Elect Counts, and instrumental at keeping the plagues of Nurgle at bay. As a magistrix of the Amethyst Order, the Graveyard Rose may be all that stands in the Maggot Lord's way. As a powerful spellcaster, Elspeth von Draken soars across the skies on her Carmine Dragon with a strong helping of magical mastery under her belt. Elspeth is committed to protecting the Empire by any means necessary, and her alliance with Norn has allowed her to help support the force of the Empire in a unique way. The true potential of the Empire's gunpowder units can be unleashed with Norn's Imperial Gunnery School, furthering the weaponry of the Empire. To do this, magic and black powder can no longer be separate entities, but instead must work together to ensure the forces of chaos are kept at bay. Elspeth's patronage will go a long way in helping to develop the next stage of technological advancement, as she also offers her unique talents to combine her mastery of death magic into the munitions of the Imperial Gunnery School, creating a combined arms force of Amethyst units the foes of the Empire will regret crossing. Dwarves, Malachi Mackerson. Having been ejected from the Engineers Guild after a series of catastrophic malfunctions that cost the lives of many a dwarf, Malachi took the Slayer's Oath and continues to engineer grand machines to this day. Assisted by his entourage of slayers, one day he hopes to overcome his shame by seeking a glorious death in battle. So at last he may be seen as a true inventor of incredible works and a legend of his time. With a fascination for creating grand machines, Malachi is a ranged support character damaging from afar with his guns, bombs, artillery, and the most deranged of munitions to whittle down his opponents. Malachi craves nigh unwinnable battles and fights with mighty foes. As a slayer, he seeks out those worthy combatants to atone for his sins, but as an engineer, he sees it as an opportunity to learn new tricks, advance his equipment, and crush all that stand before him in the name of progress. With Malachi's adventures, he aims to prove himself in combat or die trying. New units. Command the battlefield from your throne with additional units for Nurgle, the Empire, and Dwarves. Spread decay with the Toad Dragons of Nurgle. Set sail as the Empire with the Marienburg Landship. And rain destruction from the skies as the Dwarves with the Thunder Barge. Yes! The Thunder Barge! Plus further creations await within Thrones of Decay. So yeah, that's from the store page. I'm just going to go and check if there's any more info on the press release. There is a little bit more about campaign features for each of the lords. So just having a quick look through that. Elsepeth, campaign features Imperial Gunnery School, as the Army of the Empire, Visenland and Norn offer special unit upgrades and powerful abilities in return for schematics earned from the damage such units inflict on the battlefield. Gardens of Moor, a vigilant protector of the Empire, Elspeth established these sacred sites in limited number across visible, friendly, or neutral Empire settlements, providing instant travel to those locations at a cost with a cooldown. Okay. That's certainly going to be useful on Immortal Empires, traveling all around. Is that going to be visible, friendly, or Empire? Is that going to be restricted just within the Empire, or is that going to be anywhere the Empire goes and conquers? That'd be interesting. Battle play style. Riding her powerful Carmine Dragon, Elspeth is deadly in every sense of the word. She manipulates the battlefield from range with her innate magical abilities from the Law of Death before charging into the enemy ranks with her dragon and two-handed pale scythe. She sounds badass. New units. The Empire ranks are being bolstered by an assortment of arms such as the Marienburg Landship, Steam Tank Volley Gun, Nuln Ironsides, Hochland Long Rifles, Knights of the Black Rose, Master Engineer Lord, Engineer Hero, and the indomitable Theodore Bruckner, who is your legendary hero. Okay, cool. Tamarkan, Maggot Lord. Campaign features Tamarkan's chieftains. Tamarkan must amass an unstoppable war host that will bring ruin to the world. As such, he embarks on a deadly journey to decimate and recruit powerful warlords from across the Chaos and Norscan tribes to increase the power of his faction. Battle playstyle, besieging the battlefield atop his mighty Toad Dragon and wielding a mighty two-headed axe. Tamarkan is a tank of a warrior who is deadly in combat. His Feast of the Maggot Lord ability triggers upon death, dealing life-sapping damage upon the enemy to keep him in the thick of battle a little longer. New units, the bloated ranks of Nurgle ooze strength with the addition of such units as Kazik, the Befouled, legendary hero, Chaos Lord of Nurgle, Chaos Sorcerer of Nurgle, Plague Ogres, Rot Knights, Toad Dragons, Pestigors, and Bile Trolls. For Malachi, campaign features Spirit of Grungni. Malachi's armies march beneath the airborne machine known as the Spirit of Grungni, a legendary airship that the Slayer Engineer can upgrade on the move to increase his battle prowess and even call upon in battle. That sounds awesome. That kind of makes me think of like Vampire Coast with them upgrading their ships and what have you, but for the dwarves. That could be pretty cool. Malachi's adventures. As he seeks the glorious doom that all Slayers desire, Malachi uses his deadly exploits to test and improve his latest engineering innovations in the most perilous battles he can instigate. Battle playstyle. Malachi primarily serves the dwarves as a ranged support lord, tossing explosives towards the enemy with the Cinder Blast cluster bomb, blasting them to bits with his shotgun, and if anyone gets too close for comfort, smacking them in the face with a massive spanner. That's incredible. Love it. New units. Engineering excellence meets bearded bravery. The dwarf ranks are bolstered by Garagrim Iron Fist, legendary hero, Demon Slayer Lord, Demon Slayer Lord, Dragon Slayer hero, Doom Seekers, Goblin Hewer, Thunderbarge, Grudge Raker Thunderers, and Slayer Pirates. Slayer Pirates. Hello, that sounds fun. And then it also says on that press release, there's an assortment of fiendish free content. Alongside Thrones of Decay is patch 5.0, which contains an assortment of free content, quality of life improvements, and bug fixes. These include a yet-to-be-revealed legendary lord, a hero unit, and a new campaign feature in the form of the Nemesis Crown, and campaign updates for the Empire, Dwarves, and Nurgle. So that sounds like, yeah, more reworks for Empire, Dwarves, and Nurgle, which is good. That's, I think, what Shadows of Change really missed out on, that we didn't get any reworks for any of the factions covered in it, or any of the other factions in the game in the patch alongside it. So that seems to be a pretty solid update with patch 5.0 at least, which is good. And that's pretty much all the information there. So kind of, yeah, a lot to take in. They all sound pretty interesting. Again, for me, I think Empire and Dwarves are really standing out there. Just, I think they appeal the most to me. Probably the ones that I want to do campaigns on most, to be honest. But I'll be happy doing one on Nurgle if that's what you guys vote on, because I know that I'm going to be covering the other Lord, the other faction, once I finish one of my initial campaigns anyway. So let's finally just talk about the pricing before we wrap up this video. So CA released a pricing blog about Thrones of Decay last week. Again, links in the description if you want to have a full read through, but I'm just kind of going from some of the information on that blog post, just reading out quickly. Thrones of Decay will be available to buy as a complete bundle at a discounted rate of $22.92 in euros, or £19.10. Or alternatively, each individual pack will be available for purchase at $8.99 and euros, or £7.49. If you purchase the packs individually on Steam, you'll receive a 15% discount on the remaining packs when you complete your collection. So I'm honestly a bit split about this pricing change. I mean, I guess the positive from it is that it gives players more choice about which lords they want and which ones they don't want, and allows you that if for instance only the dwarves interest you in this update, you can pick them up for $7.49 and you haven't had to pay £19.10 for, you know, a pack of 3 lords, and only one of them is the one that you want to play. So I mean, choice I think largely is always a good thing, and having that option to kind of pick and choose is good. But also, I think the kind of counterpoint to that is that, in a way, Sia just doing this to kind of pick up more sales from players that otherwise wouldn't pick up a DLC until it's substantially discounted or on sale, because, you know, they're not interested in many of the lords. There's only one that they really want to get. And this way, they're able to kind of scoop up that extra revenue early on. Yes, they're a business. They're there to make money. And certainly they need to make money at present, because they've had some absolutely dire months of late. And, you know, largely they need Thrones of Decay to be solid. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I want Thrones of Decay to be solid. I want it to be a good DLC, but more importantly, I want it to be really good value for money with the DLC. I want us to get a solid, you know, DLC content update. I want us to get solid campaigns and, you know, great new additions that are going to really prolong the lifespan of the game and, you know, just enhance the overall quality of the game, which largely missed the mark with Shadows of Change. Certainly at launch, you know, as we all said, it was too expensive. It was too high for what they're asking for. I still kind of believe that they knew that they'd get a poor reception to the pricing change, so they almost intentionally threw the weaker DLC under the bus first, which, you know, I mean, for fans of Tzeentch, Cathay, and Kislev, you know, no shade to you guys preferring those factions, but I do feel like Thrones of Decay has a much stronger, solid lineup with new content for Empire and Dwarves alone, and then plus Nurgle as well. But I feel like Thrones of Decay was always sort of gonna be a more stronger content update than Shadows of Change, and I kind of feel like, yeah, Shadows of Change got almost intentionally thrown under the bus, sacrificed to take the hit, to get that out of the way for them, and then they could kind of try and rejuvenate things going forward with Thrones of Decay. Obviously, we've had the Shadows of Change 2.0 update, which has added in some more solid amount of content to Shadows of Change. I still think it's a little bit expensive, and I think the full price of this DLC is still a little bit expensive. I think certainly on like the dollar and euro front, like $20, 20 euros max should be the absolute ceiling for these sorts of packs. And I guess, you know, with pounds, that would bring it down to sort of what, $17.99 or something like that. But you know, I'm torn because choice is good for the players if you just want to pick up one or two of the Lords. But also, it does just mean that CA can sort of rake in more cash at this point, and get more players to kind of pick things up. And then I wonder what the conversion rate would be from, you know, if you pick up one of the Lords and then you look at it and you go, oh, I can get a discount if I get the other two. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. I mean, that's probably intentional, but yeah, I just hope that ultimately what we get with Thrones of Decay is a really solid DLC, because that's exactly what Warhammer 3 needs to keep going, and CA need Warhammer 3 to keep going right now. So yeah, mixed feelings about the pricing. Let me know your thoughts on it. In terms of, because some of you guys always ask me if I got a discount link to it via Games Planet. I don't have anything yet. I will let you guys know when I do have it, but obviously huge note of sort of saying, you know, don't pre-order it, don't pick it up until you've seen some content and you're happy with what you see and you feel that offers you good value for money. Obviously, once I can start diving into the content, and once, you know, whatever embargoes are down for me to share my impressions and thoughts about it, I'll certainly be doing that in my Let's Plays and on my streams, so feel free to come and ask. So yeah, that is my big old ramble. This will probably be like 30 plus minutes or so. Big old ramble on everything Thrones of Decay right now. Do go vote on the community tab for my series for Thrones of Decay. That will be launching on the 23rd with early access, thanks to CA. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. And I doubt I'll cover the like further content blogs and things like that unless there's something really substantial that comes out about any additional new content and stuff like that. So yeah, otherwise for Thrones of Decay, see you guys on the 23rd with 2 new series. Get voting. Let me know your thoughts on all this down in the comment section. And until the next one, take care and ciao for now.